What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video on the channel, and today it is another episode of Versus. So I'm recording this intro just a little bit in advance, but I am recording after I have played 5 of my games with one of the players. It is George Best, Icon George Best. I've mentioned him a couple of times on the channel. I did pack him, and I've played my 5 games with him. As you guys can see, this is the loan version I'm just putting in there for right now. Maybe that's foreshadowing what might happen in this episode, but it'll still be really interesting to see, guys, the gameplay and the stats. And we are going to compare him to Gareth Bale, Real Madrid winger. Went through a little bit of controversy in real life, in and out of the team recently, but his card in FIFA, everybody says, is very, very good. Now, Gareth Bale cost about 10% of what George Best does. Gareth Bale, I just bought him just now for, you guys can see, 109,000 coins, and George Best is going for about 1.1 million, 1.2 million, and that is a lot of coins to be sunk into one player, but you never know, a 90 rated legend could be worth it. So we are going to hop into games in just a second, right after I introduce the team. Many of them are similar to last episode, but right now I've been using Gerard Piqué. I got this Scream Gerard Piqué. He got added into the team. We're back to using Luca Digne, an Evertonian, one of my favorite players. We are using that Scream Firmino that we packed in the previous video last week. So check that out, guys, if you haven't seen it yet. And otherwise, the team is fairly unchanged. Thibaut Courtois in goal, obviously replacing Neuer. I do think Neuer is better, but Piqué has been better than Theo Hernandez, and Digne has been better than David Alaba for me. So it is worth the changes. So again, we are going to get into George Best versus Gareth Bale. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the gameplay portion of the video. So I'm just going to talk through some of these little gameplay clips here. As you guys can see, Bale is immediately involved on the ball. I played 4 online games in Foot Champions with both players. You guys will see Bale first. And there's a lot more of Bale because, to be honest with you, Best just didn't get on the ball. I show a clip of just how he just doesn't get involved. Bale always seemed to be in open space. He was available. Look at that finesse shot. His left foot is dangerous. For 100K, I absolutely thought he was worth it, and we will get into the statistical analysis at the end of this video. But you can tell from the gameplay. You just watch him play. And he's just so much more involved. As you guys can see, he is deadly from these counterattacks. Modric finds him there. He is clean through. Nobody's going to catch him. That pace was definitely noticeable. The only downside I could really see from him was that weak foot was definitely something that I noticed. I believe he has a 3-star weak foot on the right foot. And sometimes I found it difficult to cut in. But as you can see, Zaha finds him there. And he does blast that one in with his right foot. But I just always found him in the right place at the right time. And I thought he was a really, really usable and really, really good card. So look at him. He cuts inside there. And because he cut inside, he was available for that shot. Now, George Best, I'll tell you, he didn't make those cuts inside. His attacking positioning was not very good. And I don't know why, because the stat is really good. I forget what it is off the top of my head. But yeah, and then Bale really chipped in with some assists as well. He was able to beat people down the line, just like you're about to see here. Beat people down the line and get balls into the middle for Lucas or Zaha or whoever to finish. And yeah, it was just really frustrating to use George Best. You'll see his clips coming up in a second. He actually did do really well here from like a corner, just showing off his pace. His ability to control the ball, which is really good. That 1-2 pass was nice. But honestly, this was one of the best clips of George Best, where he puts in a cross. The first guy doesn't even get it, and we end up putting it away with Lucas there. This is also one of George Best's best moments, playing the 1-2 with Lucas. Lucas finds him back at the far post, but it's an easy tap in. That is the only goal I scored with George Best, 90 rated George Best, in the whole entire time I used him. Five games there that I kept track of. And just, you see Best there, he's just hanging out on the outside, and when he does finally decide to cut in, he's too far behind the play to be useful. So you see him just standing there on the edge of the box. He's just not useful. He's not as helpful as a 90 rated card should be. And now he's just hanging out on the outside, totally irrelevant from the play, and we are able to score there. But as you guys can see from these stats here, George Best up at the top. Now, with both players, we did get 4 wins and 1 loss. So there's absolutely no complaining about that. The results were there. But look at George Best's average ratings. 6.9, 8.3, 6.8, 6.7, 7.7. 3 games below a 7.0. 3 games out of 5. Average rating of a 7.28. 1 goal, 0 assists in all of these games. Very, very disappointing. And you can tell he had 4 shots on target, 4 shots out of 4 on target, 100% ratio, which is good. But 4 shots in 5 games is terrible for an attacking player. He was playing right wing. Like he should have been involved. He wasn't a right midfielder. He wasn't staying back. He wasn't even supposed to come back on defense. He was forward. And I played the exact same instructions on both players. I played them both with a Hawk chemistry style. And you can see Bale just outperformed him, 6.9 in game 1, but then finished game 2 with a 9.3, a 9, a 7.6, and another 9 for an average rating of 8.36. Now, 8.36 out of your right winger over a course of 5 games is quite good. I was very satisfied with that. He also contributed 4 goals and 3 assists, so 7 goal contributions in 5 games. That's great for a right winger. Very, very good. Honestly, I want my strikers to have about a 1.5 goal contribution to game rate, and my wingers or wingers and cam to have about a 1 goal contribution to game rate. And Bale is right there with a 7 to 5, which is about a 1.2, 1.4 goal contribution to game ratio, which I'm really, really happy with. As you guys can see, his passing and his dribbling didn't blow me away. George Best's passing was 13 out of 26. He missed 13 passes out of 26. Just terrible. And it's frustrating too because I wanted to like George Best. And the reason I did this this episode of Versus is because I just felt like he wasn't giving me enough. And I was like, oh, it must be in my head. It must be in my head. He's 90 rated. He's worth 1.2 million coins. He's got to be good. It's just me. It's just in my head. Yeah, it's not in my head because we started tracking the stats and he was not good. And this was how my entire experience was with him. And it's really, really unfortunate because he's the only icon I've ever packed. I was really, really excited to get him. But now I'm going to try and put those coins into some other players in the team because I sold him on right after I recorded the gameplay. I was really frustrated. I went and bought Gareth Bale. And Bale's good. Bale's absolutely good. But to be honest with you, I might prefer Ousmane Dembele. Let me know if you guys have tried Dembele. I've used him for like 150 games this year. I've used Bale for about 15. So I think it's a little unfair to say I like Dembele better. And I haven't tracked the stats, as I have with these guys here. But if you're going with George Best at right wing, I recommend you spend your coins elsewhere because he is not the answer there, at least for me. So again, my recommendation in this episode of Versus is absolutely Gareth Bale over George Best. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Look forward to more on the channel, and I will talk to you guys in the next one.